Hello, three-wheelers around the world. Well, these guys here, they're all ready to give you the three-wheeling signal. I can feel it in the back here. Whoa, we gotta have some show for you today, right? It's a nice, relaxing day. It's an off day. There's no racing on today. But boy, look at that sunshine, right? Yeah. Now you guys have all seen Jack. He's helping us out. He's a real media guy here, right? Huh?
Yeah.
And you're loving it.
Oh, I'm loving it, Chris. Yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you so much. What a week to be doing all this, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So who we've got here today then? So who are you? And where about you from?
My name is Tony Dukas and Lisa Dukas, and we're from the USA, and we race a modern F2 sidecar. We won like a 2019 national championship.
Wow. Fantastic, yeah, and it's 600 in that F2 then?
Yes, 600, correct.
Oh.
And it's an Ireson, and that particular Ireson was raced here at the TT, I believe around 2011 or 12.
Wow, fantastic. So that means that the bike is still eligible for the TT. Are we ever going to see you here?
You might.
You never know, you never know.
I keep trying to talk her into it. I'm ready.
You know, you've made the journey already. You know it's not that far from Florida to here, eh?
No, it's not far at all.
Morris Blanchard. So this is my wife Cheryl, and she's the manager of our team. So I'm into moto trials.
And what exactly is a sidecar trials then?
So if anyone knows Tony Bow, that's trials. So over rocks and logs and things like, and you know, difficult terrain. Then you put another wheel on and a sidecar and throw another passenger on, and that's sidecar trials. And we can amaze even the solo riders sometimes, you know, like it is very spectacular.
Yeah, you might think we're crazy for racing on tarmac. That sounds crazy, man.
We're not doing 200 mile an hour. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
So obviously we're all here because we love the TT, we love racing, and we all love sidecar. So what is it the most about sidecar at the TT that really brings you here?
It's completely different, as I also race solos, and it's a completely different, and it's the partnership that you have with your passenger, because you have to be in unison, you have to be together, you just cannot make a mistake. This course is so intricate, and you have to be spot on everywhere.
Being a passenger is with my husband is one of the best things that we can do together as a team. I can't imagine the speeds that they're doing here on the TT as compared to what we do on a closed course in the United States. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, we met Chris here 4 years ago, and we had a chat to him about,
Yeah, I
you know,
remember
the
that.
three-wheeling, and now sponsor. Like, it has just evolved so much. So
Wow.
well done, Chris, and thank you for everything that you're doing.
So what we're going to do now, we're going to go walk down to Park Fermi. We have a meet and greet down there with some of the guys. They brought their outfits out. And Park Fermi, of course, is normally closed to the public. But today it's open.
We're gonna do our little...
Oh, we got to do that before we depart. I got you
Absolutely.
there. All right,
Okay.
let it go. All right, run it out. We see some familiar logos here at the RA helmets, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go take a walk in, and we have Jackson there. So come on, let's go. Okay,
All
Jack.
right, yeah.
Here's the man.
Yeah, so we're in our helmet tent here, and we're just in front of the race service desk. So racers will bring their helmets here to get them serviced. And this is Paul. Now, Paul, what do you do to a helmet before a race?
Yeah, this is the racing service. So after every session, of course, and also in preparation for the next session, like today, no races today, so just preparing for tomorrow's races. They bring in their helmets, they go over there. They need new tear-offs, they need to be cleaned, of course, lots of bugs out there. So, you know, they can become all dirty, and then we clean the visors, put on new tear-offs, and make sure everything is all right for the next session. And sometimes they lose stuff, they break diffusers, other parts, and we try to fix everything. So yeah.
So if the helmet isn't fitting or anything like that, you can put more padding in, take padding out, sort the helmet out for them.
We can also do that. That's but usually that's done in the first week. Then they have the practice sessions and everything, and then if anything needs to be sorted out, we do it, and then they're fine mostly for the rest of the event.
What is the idea behind a tear-off then? So a tear-off is a film that goes in front of the visor, and what does it do?
Yeah, it's just like you can't clean it while you're out riding. You can't use your glove to clean it; you'll make it worse. So you just tear it off, and then you have a brand new visor, so to say. And we put on several layers. So when the next layer becomes dirty, they just tear it off again, and then it's brand new again, so to say.
So for the sidecar racing, how many tear-offs would you put on normally?
Yeah, it depends. There are personal preferences. Usually we put on like 2 or 3 tear-offs, but with the sidecars, sometimes they want to have it one left and one on the right side, so or 2 layers or 1 layer. It really depends.
Oh, fantastic! Yes, it's sort of like 1 per lap, sort of give or take. Because obviously there's a lot of bugs out there, and with this weather we've got a lot of insects about.
Yeah, a lot. Especially in the first week, they went out in the evening, so it was really bad. They would come in all black, covered with dead flies. So it's a lot of cleaning.
Absolutely, yeah. And of course you're pretty chilled out today because there's not much going on. But when it gets later in the week, are you going to be a bit more busy?
Yeah, we'll be really busy because they go out for warm-up or whatever, and then they come back and then need to go out again, or it's really busy during the week.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Are you allowed to have a quick sit in it?
Go on then. Put your left leg in there and your right leg in there. Right, put your left leg through there and your right leg through there.
No, you don't count.
Then sit on your knees.
Oh yeah, you will do.
Right, the bars are there. Hold the bars and don't touch anything. Okay.
There you go. That lad's
Okay.
down there like
Cool.
that.
This hand comes back up, slide your body down, so, but keep it like, set your body lifted up, you know what I mean? No, so go back up, set your chest back there. This
Sorry,
foot,
it's your gear linkage down here
this
on your
foot,
right
off
foot.
the back,
So
let go with your right hand now, and roll across, and
Here
then
go.
that foot
Right, so
goes
there, your foot slides in there, and it's
backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
To there.
Wow.
I know.
It's nuts, isn't it?
It's mental.
It's quite comfy when you sit still, but
Yeah, not when it's going over.
not down the selfie straight.
It's got to be full trust, it's got to be teamwork, and it's got to be precise and finesse. That's the biggest thing.
Yes,
Finesse.
Do you ever swap positions for a ride?
You're having a laugh.
Say that when you're tucked in, my helmet rests on here like that.
Obviously, you go through very narrow places on this track, walls and curbside and hedges. I was talking to someone, and they said you don't ever get outside of the fiberglass. Is that true?
Exactly. Yes. Standard rules are you don't get outside the fairing. You stay within the fairing. So be that if you're out for a right-hand corner, you'll see on photos that I'll be shadowing Dan a lot. Whereas on the short circuits, you'll see passengers getting over kind of stuff, or getting down and getting their heads down round here on the longer bikes round this place. You just don't do that. The same as when you're out for lefts. I'm quite fortunate being a short person that my body doesn't really go outside of this. So when I'll be tucking down, I'm quite fortunate in that my backside isn't going outside of the fairing. Everybody's seen the clips on YouTube of passengers getting the backsides out and being whipped out at the back of the bike. So it's kind of like the cardinal sin as such of sticking your body outside of the fairing. Up on the mountain you can do, when you don't have the walls and everything, but when you've got all the walls, especially in the sections like Hanleys and those kind of corners, especially going through Hanleys, it's a very hairy moment as you're going in, work a left, and then you go over for a right hand corner, and if you come over, you've literally got a wall just go straight past your head like that. So that's one of the places on this track where I think separates the kind of men from the boys as such, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
No, all the best for the second race, and
Jack.
that's what it takes to be a sidecar on a TT.
It does. Yeah, a sidecar passenger around the TT. So yeah, hope that have been some of help to you.
Oh, it certainly has. Thank you very much. Can we start from the front and just have a work away right the way through what each bit does?
First of all, this is an Irison frame built by Trevor Irison. He was a famous rider as well as, a constructor. He built these bikes specifically for the TT. It wasn't made for the circuit, it was made to race here. So that's the first thing you'll notice for these. The tubular frame, the way it's designed, is for strength and you know, for handling the TT. So if you look at the design of this, you can see there's a solid piece that actually goes down to the hoop.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah. So basically, the hoop is what actually controls the suspension. Now, it is a requirement for the regulations that we all have that. You can't have a telescopic fork like on a motorbike, for example. You know, so that's one of the things. The engine we've got in this one is a 2006 Honda CBR 600. This is called Old Faithful because it's a standard engine. There's no tuning or whatsoever. And she's good to keep us going. We've blown 4 engines so far. So
just in this TT fortnight?
Yeah, one a lap basically. So we're going to replace this tonight with another race engine that we've got, because we've got another one built, just to try on Tuesday. If it's no good, then Old Faithful's going back in for the race.
So did you build that engine here in the TT paddock, the race engine that's going?
No, basically Chris Schofield's been building some engines for Bruce. Basically we get them together before we get here so that we got something to start with. But if necessity says build the engine, we build the engine. This here is a lanyard which is actually attached to the driver. So if the driver falls out, it cuts off all the fuel supply, everything. It just turns everything off and kills it.
So it's it's a safety mechanism then?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Wow. And so you've got the engine there, and then you've just got this random black box stuck on top. What's the crack here? What's your idea?
Well, basically, this is your airbox on this. Inside there is your fuel injection system. They have to be closed in, again, for the regulations, so that if there's a fuel spill or it backfires fuel, there's less chance of it catching fire. These are designed so that they get a certain amount of air into them. So, you know, the more tuned they are, the more air you want. So, you know, it's designed by different people as well, you know, and tested as well. So, yeah.
So the air comes from the fairing, from this little air intake here, does it?
Yeah.
Then come in round this side into this box?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And then into the engine, of course,
Yeah, so you can
make
see,
power.
You can see the intake just there, look, and that's attached to the bodywork, you know. So
now it seems like you should have the brake on your right foot. That's what most solo boys have.
That's right.
However, it doesn't seem to be the case here.
No, you can see the gear changes on the outside, and then there's a rod that goes through, so it connects to the original mounting on the gearbox. The other one is the brake, which operates all 3 wheels. And then you've got what they call a paddock brake, which is a hand brake on the front. It's just as a safety thing, you know.
So that what looks like the front brake there, that's just a weak safety brake. So.
Yeah, basically. Some drivers do use them, most drivers don't. It's mainly on the foot. So.
And then when you move back, we were talking about tyres before, but you've got a very, very long chain here, and you've got suspension mounted at the back. What's all this section about?
Well, basically, you've got your single-sided swing arm here. The length of it determines the actual wheelbase of the bike. There is a regulation that you can't go beyond, so there is a measurement there.
How does the wheelbase affect the handling of the bike then?
Okay, yeah. So by making it longer, good example is Mark. Mark is a big passenger for Bruce, and with his weight, he's lifting the front wheel. So what we've done, we've extended the wheelbase a little bit to push the front wheel into the ground a little bit more. So, you know, that's what it'll do. If you shorten it and the weight's further back, it's just like a lever.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to lever it up. So
Fantastic. And then obviously sidecars are all about the bit on the side. So as we move a little bit close to the side, we've just got a T-tray here. This can't be where the passenger goes.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Believe it or not, he kneels on that. And there's most of the people that have tried it today, because we're encouraging people to actually sit on this. But yes, yeah, basically you're kneeling on here. You've got your handle there. Always hold on with the left hand, never let go. Use your right hand to move about, basically.
So there's no sort of seat belts, nothing like that?
Nope, no safety gear like that.
It's purely legs and hands?
Yeah, it's fitness of the rider, basically.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that. I shall be seeing you around. The number 8 at the TT this year, you had a fantastic race on Saturday, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we pushed really hard, especially on the last lap. We got a good pit board at the gooseneck from a mate of mine, and we were P-0, and it was like Gary really pushed on for the last three quarters of that lap, and it was really hard, and we ended up P5, so it was a good result, really. Yeah, we were really happy with that.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, and we've just caught you right in the middle of the day. We can see Gary himself working on the bike there, and current world champion Todd Ellis also working on the bike. Is that any place for a world champion underneath a bike?
No. To be honest, Todd and Manu, his passenger, have prepped the bike all the fortnight for us. Me and Gary haven't really got involved. Gary's obviously just topping the motor up with oil and checking that little bits, but as in swapping the engines, cleaning it, stripping it every night, Manu and Todd have been on it all the time. They've done a fantastic job, and we've not really touched it, to be fair.
Absolutely superb. And Gary does tunes the motors as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, Gary builds all of our motors, and he builds all the Todd's and Manu's motors as well. Hence why they've come sort of to pay back, a bit of payback for the amount of time Gary spends on their stuff.
With a Sidecar engine, then, is there a lot more strain on it? Would you build it differently?
Yeah, you try not to, for your super sport motor, you'd probably look in another 5 or 6 horsepower, because they can tune them that bit more, because you've not got the massive load of 2 riders, heavier bike, and the massive prolonged throttle openings. You know what I mean? It's to a point you want to try and keep it tuned but safe. Yeah. That's the big thing with them.
You saw Birchers do a 120 mile an hour lap on Saturday. What did it feel like being in that race?
It didn't feel any different to us, to be honest with you. We're just trying as hard as we can with the gear we've got. It's like everything in it. There's different levels in every class, and it's when you put in that much effort and money into the job, you will get them speeds. We just push as hard as we can for the equipment we're on. That's all we do,
The speeds that are happening this year, how do you think it's going to affect the future Sidecar racing?
This is the difficult one. This is the issue at the minute. The problem you've got is new lads coming in and looking at the times and going, well, I've got to do 103 mile an hour to qualify to race. Used to be that 100 mile an hour was a great lap. Yeah. Now you do 100 mile an hour lap and you don't even get into racing. So we've got to look at either trying to knock the speeds down or altering the qualifying criteria for people to come. And that's to prolong the future of sidecars. I think that's really got to be looked at. And we had a quite a big meeting this morning. All the teams joined in the meeting, and we were chatting about keeping the longevity of sidecars, because people love the sidecars. And it'd be such a shame, but when you got 20, 30 bikes on the grid, you need a few more. You need another 10 to keep that spectacle going. So people don't get bored when they're sat out on the mountains and the hills for all day. We're just trying to move it on so we keep it fresh and keep more. You want the likes of Todd to come, but you want to be here to come and win. Yeah. And if you got to spend 120, 130,000 pound on a bike to win, what's the point? Yeah. If you're not got 130 grand, then you think, well, I could come on a 60 grand bike, but I'll be in the top 10. What's the point? Everybody wants to come here and win. Yeah. It's like the insurance aspect with the foreign teams. You have to get your own insurance, and I can't remember what the sort of figures they were talking at, but they were sort of 5,000 per rider, and it's a ludicrous amount of money. It's a lot of money.
Oh, right. Well, I'll leave you to get back to your prep on your bike. So after the motor's all done, what do you do after that?
We'll just run it back up. Todd will probably plug in with the Motec and have a look, make sure everything's all right. But it's very difficult. Once it's sat here, you can't really map it. You need a lap on it. So we'll go out and do the lap tomorrow, and then Todd will get back in it and plug in the laptop, check the fueling's right and everything's right with it, oil pressure and everything, and then we'll be ready for Wednesday.
So Motec, I presume, is like the ignition system, the thing that runs it, sort of?
Yeah, Motec's the ECU and the dash and everything, and we have a data logging system, so you can data log. It's got a lander sensor in the exhaust, so you can check the fuel levels, make sure the fueling levels are right. You can have it auto-tuned, but the problem here is if the lander should fail on lap 1, it will keep auto-tuning lap 2 and lap 3, and it can push the fuel in further and out. So we tend to map it and then shut the lander off, so it can't map anything, it can't alter the fueling ratios.
Oh, fantastic. Well, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the rest of your bike prep, and I shall see you later.
Cheers.
Can we just get one of these, Phil?
I'm not very good at that.
Go on.
There you go.
There we go, close enough. We've seen round a TT bike of current times. Now, we're joined by something that is a bit of a classic bike, isn't it?
Classic, a bit iconic. So I'm Nigel Rollison's daughter, one of 3 of his kids. And his dream really, he passed away suddenly a few years ago. And his dream was to bring the sidecar to the Centennial, the sidecars. At that point, the TT hadn't kind of organised anything as such, but going on experience in 2007, they did a Centennial of the whole TT, and they did a parade lap, and Dad was involved in that. So he had in his head that he wanted to come here to Centennial sidecars and do a lap of honour. So unfortunately he passed away before that. And obviously Chris Bowman got in touch through Mark Dibben, and they were doing this Centennial celebration for the sidecars. So we were like, right, okay, we've got Dad's dream, let's do it. So it has taken a long few months, some really good people working really hard on rebuilding the engine. It's not rebuilt to do a lap of honour, but just a few hundred yards and fire up. And so yeah, this is here it is. So this sidecar won in 1986, passenger Dolly Williams, and it's a British Barton Phoenix engine. So in the world there's like 10 made, but only 6 racing engines built. We've got 2, and this is, you might have heard of the film David Essex, Silver Dream Racer. So this was featured in the film. This is another reason why it's ultimately a very iconic machine and piece of machinery. So it's 2-stroke, 4-cylinder. Top speeds are, so let me get this right. So 154 TT Highlander and 156 through Sulby Straights top speeds.
156 through Sulby Straight.
Yeah.
Bear in mind that Bircher are just clipping the early 150s now on a modern 600 machine. Yeah. So back in the 80s, this was clipping over a lot more than that, anyhow.
Yeah, so I mean, Dad was very competitive, people probably know that, but he built the frame specifically for the TT. So the frame that everything's mounted in, he did that. He designed the fairing. So my mum and a passenger back in the day kind of fiberglassed and did the fairing to his design. And obviously over the years tweaked it, I suppose. Competitive and had a dream, went out and smashed it.
Yeah, so this is a Rawlinson chassis then. So Nigel built this himself?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So yeah.
I know, if you can see here, the way the passengers seem to move, you've got an exit here in front of the sidecar wheel. Yeah. Is this a different style of passengering?
Yeah, so back in the day, they used to like front exits as well as, now it's just out the back and over the side, but no, they used to come out the front and all sorts. If you look back some of them old photography back in the 80s and earlier on, you'll see the old sidecar passengers really hanging out, like, fair play to them. The big thing about Dad, he always had a goal, and he was only one of 2 people to win the TT circuit on solo and sidecar. Freddie Dixon was the other guy. So when he'd finished racing, he never lets things go. He actually did a round the world yacht race, round the Isle of Man yacht race and won that. Wow. So he used to never give up. So I didn't give up and got it here for him.
That is absolutely magnificent. So what solo did he compete on?
So the Manx Grand Prix.
Oh yeah.
So we won that. Yeah, I believe 1971 on Paget's.
Wow. So then he started off his career as a solo rider, and then he became a sidecar driver and builder afterwards.
Yeah, that's it. And he was very, very passionate about the TT Riders Association, which looks after injured riders and their families. So he became the president of that in 2013, and it's a real iconic Isle of Man charity. Amazing work. There's a lot of big riders' names that have become presidents over the years. Mike Hayward being one of them that's just behind us there. So he was one of those. And
so it's quite a legacy that Nigel left behind him. That is absolutely magnificent.
Nigel Rawlinson with his bike's at the back of me there, the blue one. And I've been mates with him since 16 when we used to ride around on. He had an old BSA and me had an old Sunbeam. He went on to better things, the 86 TT winner, which is quite something. And it's quite an emotional day to be here today, to see it here. And bless him, he's not here to be with us, but I'm sure he'll be very proud that his daughter Rachel has organised everything and got the bike here today.
We've walked round the paddock now, and we've walked all the way down to Davil Gibson's camp. Now Davil himself is lurking there in the background, busy working away on his bike. Beautiful looking machine. He had a fantastic race on Saturday, didn't he? Yeah. We're joined here with his short circuit passenger, Rhys Gibbons. How are you doing, Rhys? You all right?
Yeah, we're good. We had a really good 2 weeks really so far. We've got another race which we're all really looking forward to, so yeah, we'll just see where we go from here.
You raced Davil on the short circuits, are you, in the FSRA British Championship. How's that going for you?
Yeah, we've had a bit of a rocky start, to be honest. I mean, we've had really good results, I think we both think we can do a bit better, to be honest, and which it can be a bit frustrating at times, but when we do BSB and everything, we've had some really good results, so we're both learning together, and I think it's kind of showing, to be honest. Yeah.
Now, this weekend, on a bike that is almost identical to that one, a brand new CS Racing chassis, Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy broke the outright Formula 2 Sidecar lap record. How does that make these chassis look, and how does that make you feel as a general, looking at the opponent?
Well, I think the Christie boys have always been like really close knit and been looking after all three of the bikes. Obviously, the Challenge got one as well. We're over the moon, to be honest. I think it's going to definitely increase the value of the Christie chassis, and like the amount of work the lads have put in over the winter to build three of them all side by side has just been amazing, really. And the feedback that we've got off everyone and the feedback that we give to them is always taken into account when it's always used to improve.
Oh, perfect. Now, you were supposed to do the TT, but due to technical difficulties, you're not. But are you bursting to get out there?
Yeah, itching, really, to be honest. I think I've got a couple of things to get my foot in the door in regards to roads, but you know, I'm really excited for next year, and I think just more time and more training can't really hurt me, so it's only going to be benefiting.
Absolutely, and also your uncles are Pete and Alan Found, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, how is it watching them go around at the speed that they are going around?
Yeah, it's just, I'm excited to just have my say at the dinner table, really, saying also on the TT course, but yeah, I think Alan and Peter are both happy. I mean, it's been a bit of a tough year for Alan, well, definitely a tough last year as well, but you know, he's back on his feet, which is always glad to see, and he's back up the pace. If you look at his results from Donington, you know, he's flying, so again, really happy for both of them.
Do you think you could ever hang on to Pete's speeds round here, or do you think you're just going to work your way up with like Darrell?
I mean, I'll be up with Darrell, I think, but hopefully we can get the same speeds as them.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, he's just in a 111 round this place, so that is some notches that he's going.
Yeah, I've got a very tall order for me next year, so I must get my head down.
It's going to be a fantastic week. Well, thank you very much, Reece. I think it's about done for us around the paddock now, but come and get one of these from you.